Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Rams House Podcast. I am joined today with my guy OJ here. What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
We got Will and Joe are both unable to be here, so it'll just be the two of us. Today, we are discussing the LA Rams second round draft pick, Terrance Ferguson, who I think unanimously we agreed was our favorite draft pick also, which is actually
Yeah,
not. I know it would be like common sense to be like, oh, the highest draft pick's your favorite, but most years I feel like the highest draft pick is not our favorite pick.
yeah.
So this is actually rare that we all agreed the top pick is the best one. So we're going to do a bit of a deep dive into Terrance Ferguson. There isn't a ton on him out there. He didn't have like a storied career in college or anything like that. So there's not like some players are just like unlimited data and film on. He's not one of those guys, but we kind of accumulated a lot of the best stuff that we could find. We'll be checking. We'll be checking it out and taking a look at it here in this video. So, first, let's just give our thoughts. Why don't you give your thoughts on Terrance Ferguson as a player and kind of what you think he'll look like in the Rams this year and moving forward?
Um, yeah, I wasn't here last week, so I didn't really give any thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just say this. I mean, out of the picks, I mean, he was definitely like, I'll say this. I'll quickly just say, I wasn't a huge fan of the draft in general. I felt like we didn't address the needs that we fully had, like a cornerback, like a linebacker. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just my quick thoughts on the draft. But with Terrence Ferguson, I mean, he's a good player. I mean, he's a guy that can definitely make an impact as a day one starter. He has potential to be a quality starting tight end in the NFL, and the upside of being like a not like an all pro level, like a top five guy, but maybe like a top 10 guy. One thing that I will
Yeah.
say is that I don't think he'll start right away. I think he'll probably be under Higby, and he might transition into that starting role. Maybe as the year goes on, he'll probably get more reps eventually. But yeah,
I mean, maybe not. Also, he
yeah,
McVay doesn't like starting most rookies, so he may just sit for the whole first year. Tight end is a notoriously slow to develop position, like the slowest in all of football.
yeah,
So yeah, we'll see. I mean, but we all agree he's got good upside, but not great upside.
yeah. I mean, he has talent. I mean, that's why I said like, depending on how if he like shows us like if he has like a breakout game, for example, and he shows okay, I'm ready to start, then he might get more snaps. But that's less likely. So that's what I'm saying. Higby will probably start out as a number one. He'll probably be number two, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely convinced he'll be the number two either, to be honest. I mean, Colby Parkinson, we paid a heavy price to last offseason as a free agent. And, you know, Blake Corum didn't get backup carries in front of Ronnie Rivers last year either. And Jordan
Yeah,
Whittington didn't. Remember when there was an injury to the receiving core, Jordan Whittington didn't come in. It was actually Tyler Johnson who came in. So it's so easy to be like, yeah, he'll definitely be number two at least, but like Sean don't necessarily do that regularly either. So it's like he should be number one. He probably should definitely be number two.
he should definitely at least be number two. I think it also depends. Like, if he does well in camp, he'll probably earn the spot. I'll say that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe because I feel like Corum did well in camp too. I don't know. It's Whittington was like being raved about all camp long, and he never moved in. He didn't
Uh,
he didn't take D Rob's spot or Tutu's or Tyler's. He was
he's
actually
the
fifth on the depth chart, or no, he was
this is a
sixth.
guy that McVay loves, and he probably will be number two.
You
I mean,
think
I'm assuming that
you
he.
think he
I'm
would have
assuming.
loved you think he would have loved Blake Corum and Jordan Whittington too though.
And it doesn't show like it, but I'm assuming him picking him with the first pick in the draft
Yeah.
that the Rams had. That's just assumption, but yeah,
No, no,
we,
no.
we know this.
I'm with you. I just think it's odd. I think
That's a fair point. With the we know with the way the Rams are with personal decisions, we criticize them. Like
yeah,
that's our main issue with McVay. Like his personal decisions have been wonky the
yeah.
last couple of years. So it's not we can't really for sure 100% say he will be like even number
He
two, which is
should be,
crazy.
but will
And he
he be
should
is a
be.
different story.
He should be.
Yeah.
And he can make an argument he should be one as well. But yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so let's start taking a look at some of the data points, then we'll get into some film. First thing we want to look at right here is the rat score. He had a really impressive combine performance. He 4.63 40-yard dash is really good. He's got long arms, almost 33 inches, decent sized hands. He's 6'5", 250 basically, rounding up and down. He did pretty low on the bench press reps, but he's not a blocking tight end. He's not going to be primarily used as a blocker. He's not primarily going to be used as a possession tight end in short distances. He's a weapon, which is why his
Yeah.
40-yard, his 10-yard split is even better. His quickness is crazy. 10-yard split is 9.9. Is that what that says? No, it's
Yeah.
8.9. Yeah, it's like top tier. And then obviously the explosiveness, the vertical and the broad jump, off the charts. Terrance is a legit athlete, like really good. He was, let's see, he's ranked 92. It says up here he was ranked 92 out of 138 tight ends in the last, 38 years.
Yeah.
So that's no joke. Okay, so next data point, we looked at this already a little bit. Let me zoom in here for you guys. But he's let's see. He is he 4-year starter at Oregon. Well, not starter, but 4-year player at Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
1500 total 1500 total yards, 16 total touchdowns. He was never a primary focal point of this offense, but he was solid. And in this last year, he really started to be used more as a weapon rather than kind of like a safety valve. And this is kind of when he really took off and started to show what he can do. So he's not like this guy in college who like had any monster seasons. I would say he was definitely underused and misused his first 3 seasons by quite a bit.
Yeah, it seemed that. I mean, I know Oregon had I think they had a coordinator change, so maybe that had a
Yeah,
possibility
they've
to
also
be a
been
positive.
stacked at receiver, right? They have had
Yeah,
receivers drafted in the first 3 rounds the last like 3 years.
yeah.
So
It just seemed like maybe this year they maybe like the receiver talent was. I'm not sure. I know they had Tez Johnson. I'm not sure the other receivers at Oregon were, but
they've had
maybe the
several
talent.
drafted recently.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe because of this past year it dipped. You're like, okay, we need to use him in a different sense, and he showed out. So
I wanted to show, kind of like the game log from last year and see what he did. So he had two of his biggest games of the season were actually against Ohio State. He had the regular season game, 4 catches for 62 yards, which is 15 and a half average, which was really good. And then in the quarterfinal of the football playoffs, he had 5 catches for 71 yards and a 14.2 average. For a tight end, the averages are really good, like really good.
yeah,
he gets he's a weapon who gets explosive plays very regularly as a tight end in Oregon's offense. And Oregon's offense has never really used tight ends like that. So it's cool. Now I want to move on to I want to say a negative note, but we're looking at the whole picture here. Todd McShay is talking on Twitter here about I actually disagree with his assessment, which is that his drops weren't a very big deal. He kind of makes them seem like, oh, they weren't really his fault. I actually think all 4 drops were his fault, which is true about any drops because for a catch to be a drop, it really has to be a pretty good throw and a pretty good situation. So let's take a look at these 4 drops. See if we can pump them up and we can still view the whole thing. So Terrance is right there. So he's kind of a leak out. That's just a straight concentration drop. Like
yeah.
that's
He,
entirely him trying
he's
to
wide
look
open there.
upfield. He's
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
upfield with like he
Yeah.
turns, he's getting ready to turn, and as the ball's arriving, and that's
I mean,
just
that's a classic case of receiver thinking about running before catching the ball. So
yeah. So he is actually making his way around. Oh no, that's right. He's right here. Let's see if you can see it in here. It's kind of hard to see. Let me make it smaller
yeah,
so we can kind of get a
it's
better
fine.
view of that. But so you see him running on the side here, and he cuts back. The ball literally hits him in his hands. Actually, you know what? It doesn't really need to be small. You can see it. The ball's thrown a little bit to his right here, but like it hits him in both of his hands right here. That wasn't a crazy catch to make. It was just a drop.
I,
Um,
I
it's
would
a
say a rule of thumb. I mean, if the ball's in your area, at least like in your circumference, you
so
have
you
to
could see
at
it on
least
the
make an attempt.
replays.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch the replay again. These couple of replays, like the ball hits him square in the hands. I mean,
No,
that's
this
not
is
even out of
definitely
body.
that's not a egregious throw. It's not like
Right.
Rodion Gabriel, like he threw it like outside of his circumference or his area or whatever.
Yeah,
He threw like basically
a little
in his
behind, but also
yeah.
Gabriel's trying to like create space for himself and for Terrance to catch the ball and run. So like I would definitely put that on Terrance. Here's drop number 3. So these are all 4 drops that he had last in his senior year, his last year of college. I again so like this is another, it's a little bit behind, right? Like, but that's like the where it hits when it bounces, like that should be a catch.
Now, if it hits your hands,
It hits both hands, and he's not like he's extending.
he's not so if it hits your hands and you're not extending, I believe a receiver should catch it
I
because
agree.
the job of the quarterback, it is not the greatest throw in the world. That is
Correct.
true, but you still have to make that catch because not everything is going to be perfect.
Now
Like
this one, I
even
actually I think it's a little behind again, a little bit high, but like that's not even above his body length here, and it's not even outside of his body box. Like that's just, to me, this is just another drop, and it almost seems like he was preparing for that contact.
mhm.
So Todd's kind of downplaying his drop, saying, "Oh, he's saying he had 4 drops, which is 44% drop. Basically, he wasn't good in drops last season. He struggled in this area, and he's trying to make. He says the other 3 are bang bang throws behind him. I mean, but they're just slightly behind him. They're not like really far
It's
behind him.
if it like I said, if he had to stretch his arms out and make like an amazing catch,
Yeah,
then I'm not gonna fault him for the outside. Okay, that's a bad throw in Roman, but all those throws, it was in his area. Like he didn't have to
yeah.
really stretch much. Like as a receiver, I expect, especially in the NFL level, like when you're playing with Stafford as well, he's gonna be throwing a lot of those tight intermediate throws, like we saw in one of the throws that he dropped,
Hmm.
and he's gonna be expected to make those plays. So you
Yeah,
have to catch that.
and
Yeah.
and if we're being honest, if the balls were thrown in such an egregious fashion that it would be an incredible catch to make, they wouldn't be called drops. They would just be
No, they wouldn't.
incompletions. So I disagree with the assessment, but it's nice to see complete film, including negative things on
Mhm.
these guys. Next, we have a Twitter post, an X post from the Rams brothers. And the things I wanted to highlight here was that this right here, which is that 42% of his snaps last year were in the slot and 40% were inline. So he does do both. He's not one of these like Harold Fanning. A vast majority of Harold Fanning snaps were in the slot or out wide. 41% of your snaps being inline, being on the line of scrimmage is still a pretty good amount. So he's not like a pure receiver and he doesn't line up in the tackle box and still do all that stuff. So this is tackle box, the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So I actually find that to be really nice. Then the next data point is this one. Almost 26% of his catches last year went for 20 or more yards. And that comes 2 different ways, from actually being a vertical threat and then being a yak monster.
I think that's also like one of the keys, I guess, when the Rams are scouting him is they're trying to find like I guess a
More
different,
explosiveness.
a more explosiveness, a different type of tight end, a different style. Because we know Higbee, he's a possession guy. Same thing with Parkinson. Pretty much, besides Gerald Everett, we really haven't had a tight end who's had that explosive ability. And the thing about Gerald Everett, he had severe drop issues,
Severe
severe
drop
drop.
issues. He also was very lazy. He had
Yeah,
really lazy route running, really lazy, a lot of stuff. And Gerald Everett's skills as an explosive or in a deep player were just because he was fast. He wasn't actually good at tracking the ball. He had major concentration issues, and he wasn't good after the catch.
he lacked fundamentals. That was his
And
biggest.
Terrance does not. Terrance doesn't at
Yeah.
all. So that's that. And then the last one is 72.1% of his catches last year resulted in a first down or a touchdown. That's a
Yep.
chain mover. That's a guy who gets in the end zone. That's one of the things that the Rams were majorly lacking. We had big time troubles in the red zone and on third down last year. So this is really good stuff for the Rams. Next piece of data, I just really like this and I wanted to share with you guys. This is Terrance absolutely torching some guy at the Senior Bowl.
This is a beautiful route.
This is a beautiful route. So Terrance is obviously the one running the route. So the little hesitation out, and this guy literally is like falling over, tugging on the jersey. Like that is just a wonderful route. The speed and the like total hesitation on this turn out or in rather, this guy was cooked. It was over.
That route reminded me a bit of a Travis Kelsey. He's very good at the
Mm-hmm.
shoulder fake, creating
Yep.
separation. Because he's not the greatest athlete either, but he knows how to create separation, and that's the thing. Like even if Terrence wasn't a great athlete, Like, I mean, that's a different topic, but
He
it's the
is
fact that
still a great athlete,
he
dude.
is a great he's a great athlete and he has the fundamentals down right.
Yeah.
That's an important point as well.
Let's watch it one more time because this was a beauty. I love this route, and I just had to share it because I was like, that is, and at the Senior Bowl, no less. Like at the biggest stage of
Hmm.
his, pre-draft situation at the time. Now this is sick. This is,
This
um,
is actually interesting right here because
so
this is one of his weak points.
or at
Interesting
least
enough.
a point that people don't give him much credit for
Yeah,
his blocking.
maybe. Yeah,
So he's
yeah.
lined up. Not only is he lined up here on the line, ready to block, but he's lining up against Abdul Carter, who was the
Number one
what
edge.
number one edge, but number two pick in the draft or three pick in the draft.
Yeah, number three pick, number one edge in the nation. Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at how Terrance handles because even though he may not be super consistent, it's nice to see kind of like where he's headed, and we'll see how he handles blocking Abdul Carter here. I mean, honestly, solid job. He turns the he flips his body to create a barrier between him and the running back and the running lane, and that's all you can ask for from a tight end on a top tier edge. And then here's another performance of him blocking Abdul Carter. He's at the bottom of the screen here. Let's take a look at how this one goes. Pancake. I mean, look, it's two examples, but it's two examples against the best edge rusher
Yeah.
in the class, and so
I
maybe
think that.
we're gonna be pleasantly surprised by his blocking. Maybe he's gonna be
I mean,
better
I
than it
mean
seems.
that especially that second block that
Yeah.
was good technique. He low man like they say low man wins. He got
Hmm.
lower. He got his arms under the shoulder pads and just lifted him and drove him down.
I
And
loved
that's what
it.
they teach. And that's something you can obviously that's something especially like here's the thing, right? Higby and Parkinson, one thing that is like good about them and one thing about Rams tight ends in general is they're good blockers. So he has I guess especially Higby, he can learn from and improve on the
Yep.
blocking game. So that's a positive in that sense.
I'm gonna throw this out there too. If anyone has seen any of his interviews, dude interviews incredibly well.
Mm.
I'm super impressed hearing him talk and about life and about football. I really like him in that sense. All right, next piece of data point from Wyatt Miller. Now this is a chart here, yards per route run, where he is. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's 11th in yards per route run in college football last year, and he is number one in yards after the catch per reception, all the way on the right here. And he averaged basically no, not he averaged 10 yards after the catch per reception.
That's impressive.
That's a little wild, isn't it? That's
Yeah, I
really
mean that's
insane.
I mean that's you don't typically see that for tight ends. I mean,
And you're talking about Tyler Warren and Harold Fanning, who are elite at this, and they're lower.
yeah,
Oh no, this isn't 10; it's 9. It's 9.
yeah.
So, but that's awesome. Either way, it's
That's
really
still
good.
impressive. I mean, even like 5 or 6 is still impressive for like a
Oh
tight end.
yeah, it's
And then
great.
9 is abnormal. Like that shows that he's just a weapon.
No.
He's a different.
Yeah, now obviously it's going to change
Yeah,
as you get to the pros and everything becomes harder. But I think it's impressive, and it kind of shows you the weapon that he is. Now I wanted to kind of just look at this from another perspective also, and which is just take a look at the NFL. And I want so Tucker Kraft was number one in football right here at 9 yards after the catch per reception. Four tight ends.
yeah. That's
And that's crazy, by the way. That's very high. And then the next best guy is George Kittle at 6.7. Don't be
and
surprised if Terrance Ferguson in the next few years is sitting at number one or two at yards after the catch.
no. I wouldn't be surprised, especially like I can see the Rams are going to be using that sense. We know the Rams. One of my favorite plays the Rams run is the Higby tight end screen. That leak out screen that they run,
Mm-hmm.
where they do the fake bubble and then the Higby leaks out in the middle. We're gonna see that. We're gonna see that the
Terrance
bubble
does
screen
that a lot
again.
in college.
And that's what Terrence did at Oregon. They had the quick passing offense, so they love using screens. So that's something also the Rams offense is prevalent on, is using screens. And when we lost Higby, it kind of hurt our offense in that sense, not having
Yeah.
that tight end who can. I mean, that's the thing. And Higby, like he's a decent guy after the catch. He's not like
Yeah,
great,
he's decent.
he's decent, but he did his job, and now we're getting somebody who can take that to the next level potentially
Totally.
if he reaches that. Yeah.
All right. So last data point. So you kind of see the tight end averages there, which is basically in that 6 range. The leaders are between 6 and 7. The 9.1 for Tucker Craft was an abnormality. Um, but Terrance has that kind of speed, that kind of explosiveness, and that kind of acceleration. So what kind of acceleration, speed, and stuff do you say? Well, among all tight ends in the draft,
First.
he ranked first in 40-yard dash, first in vertical, and first in 10-yard split.
Mhm.
So he was hyper. So he was fastest, most explosive, and quickest. So really, really
And
interesting.
I mean, yeah, it ties in. It ties, into what we said. I mean, he's a yak monster. I mean, he has the potential to be that. And excited to see. Hopefully we actually use him, and hopefully he develops properly. But that's still to be determined, unfortunately, because we've seen, with Blake Corum and Jordan Whittington, what happened with them.
Yeah,
But I guess the positive, I guess the counter to that, Rams fan would say is that he was picked as our first pick, so we expect the Rams to use him. But yeah, we'll see.
totally agree. All right, so let's take a look at the film.
The film, yeah.
So
So
let's
this is
go
gonna
ahead.
be more in depth film. When we first covered it after the draft, it was just kind of just simple highlights. There are still highlights, but it's more in depth. I mean, we'll cover more specifics. So yeah.
Without further ado, we have a nice little video here of Terrence. This is, by the way, this is all 4 years of his career, so we'll get to see some of his development and all that jazz. I'm kind of excited about that. So let me turn it down and let's take a look. And they're not going to circle his name, so we're going to have to watch it as he goes. So he was 19 early in his career, then he switched to 3 later. So I noted in this one that isn't Bo Nix or Dylan Gabriel.
That was a trick play.
Oh, here's Bo Nix. Yeah.
That's Bonix, yeah. It's great contact balance, and that's right there. That's
Yeah.
great acceleration. Like
Great acceleration.
you don't see many tight ends moving like that. Like he was moving here.
Yeah.
Watch how quickly he gets into his top speed.
And that's just a leak out. That was a block leak out. Great broken
Hmm.
tackle, and then look how fast he
That,
accelerates.
the acceleration is crazy. Like that's
Yeah.
that's impressive. Yeah. And that's what we talk about, right? It shows the film when we saw the statistic that he was top you know, in a lot
Yeah,
of his
yards
catches,
after catch and
yards after catch, first
forced missed
down.
tackles.
And another thing as well is a lot of his catches were first downs and
Yep.
including touchdowns.
Well,
So
look how
he,
even this he may not even get the first down here, but look how quickly he reminds me of It's a different video. What just happened?
oh,
Um,
you it went to a
yeah. Watch how fast he on this catch that he turns upfield. Like this is the kind of thing. Like remember how frustrated we were watching Kobe Parkinson and Hunter Long, and they were and Davis Allen. They catch the ball and it was like running after the catch was like he's so quick. He kind of reminds me of Puka and Cooper Cup in that manner. Just like how fast he's looking to turn upfield
yeah,
and run after the catch.
in the quick turn. Yeah,
Like so many times, like look at that. He got caught released, but like so many times we had Hunter Long, Kobe Parkinson catching the ball like 1 yard away from the first down, and they were so slow to get upfield that they didn't even end up getting the first down.
that hurt us. I remember
A
a couple.
lot.
It hurt us in games like touchdowns, first key third downs when they're just not
Yep.
quick enough to just turn the corner. Terrence said that's what he has. I mean, here,
And you're gonna see because this is again, there's the development process here. We're watching 4 years of him playing college, and you're gonna see throughout this video how much better he actually gets at that throughout the years.
is another.
Like that's what I'm talking about. Like genuinely, I know this sounds crazy, but I don't think this is a first down if it's Colby Parkinson or Davis Allen. This play right here. Because there's a lot of times where they caught that and they were so slow to turn up field that a couple of guys got to them and tagged. Remember, we were talking about it all last season. It was a constant problem, especially in big situations. Not only does he get the first down, breaks the tackle, gets an extra like 15 yards.
I mean, he gets an extra 15 yards. He turns like what would have been just maybe a first down play into like a 20+ yard gain.
Yep. He's at the top of the screen here. Fake block,
leak
leak
out.
out, and then great catch, great
Great hand. Yeah.
concentration. Yeah.
And that's people who have watched the previous episodes, especially last season. I was talking about so much. The reason why I wanted Brock Bowers as well is that we just need just something different, a dynamic change at tight end, somebody who could also help in the red zone. We've had huge struggles in the last couple of years, and I think we're one of the worst team in red zone conversion rates, or at least middle of the pack to worse, in the worst range. Uh, I feel like getting a tight end like Ferguson who can get those leak outs as quick as explosive on those quick screens, he'll help us in that sense where Puka or Devontae's not just the focal point. It's not the focus.
Yeah, that last play is nice little just tight end screen for 8 yards, man.
And
I
one thing
just
I would
he's just versatile, man. He does a lot of things well.
and I would say one thing he like, and that's I guess one thing he does need to develop, and that's the thing. Once you get obviously he's not completely finished in the sense of breaking tackles in that sense, but he can definitely. I would say that he can definitely bulk up a bit.
Oh,
He,
I
he
think he could put on easy 10 pounds. Eight,
I
maybe
think he can definitely put on 10 pounds.
he.
I think that'll help him.
I think he was. Let me just pause this real quick and look. I think he is 240. Yeah, give him the 255. 6'5",
Yeah.
255 is a nice size for him.
Mhm.
I don't think he'll lose any of of his speed there. He's at the top of the line of scrimmage. He lines up in line a lot. Great route, finding the open spot. Love that. And the Rams run a lot of stuff like that. Actually,
Exactly.
that's a very
Well, that's
Rams. Oregon runs a lot of Rams types
we were
routes.
talking about this. I think
Yeah,
also with the Roman Gabriel film is that their
Dylan
offense is
Dylan Gabriel. Yeah,
similar. I mean, not Roman, Dylan Gabriel. That the offense is very similar.
yeah. At least in the passing game.
It's the play action sense.
Yeah, that's him in
Look
motion
at it.
there, blocking, leaking out. Now, that wasn't even planned. That was just giving his guy a bailout option. Hey, I'll take that too, man.
Hey man, look, he's fighting. Look at him fighting.
Five guys. He's still on his feet, dude.
He's still going.
Dude,
That's
he
impressive.
has a good motor. He's got a lot of heart. He plays football the right way, to be honest. I really like his attitude. Great
Great
catch.
catch. He see that right there. That's what we're talking about as a difference maker.
Yeah, look at this.
He knows he's
Bam.
gonna take the hit. He concentrates and he holds on to it.
Honestly, I don't know that any of our tight ends make that catch. Maybe Higby on a good
Maybe
day.
Higby. Maybe Higby. I don't know about Higby
Higby
now.
Higby doesn't do
Maybe
that.
maybe a couple of years ago
Yeah,
Higby would have made
I
that play,
agree.
but not
But
now.
Higby doesn't do this though. Like look at this. Because this is all just speed, right? He's on the crosser there, catches it, and he just goes. He gets an extra 15 yards because he's so fast. Another leaker right down the middle. Higby does it all the time. I can't state enough his speed for turning and running and how his acceleration is so good that he's able to turn which a 2-3 yard gain for most tight ends like a yak to like 10 to 15 20.
Yeah. And that's the thing we saw in the previous play was the second and 17 down situation. How many times have we seen it where the Rams just opt to just a HB draw or something like
Sure.
that? You could do a quick leak out to Terrance and he might get you 10, 15 yards and put you in a better third down situation because those situations will happen.
He's really
That,
good at finding space in the seam. You notice that? These little
yeah.
seam shots. Like that's just a straight seam shot. Really good at finding that space, making himself an open target, and great throw by the way, Bo Nix. Great throw. All right.
He's lying in the slot again.
Yep.
Listen,
Great fight for the first down.
that's huge. That was a 3rd and 8.
That was third. I was about to say it's 3rd and 8. That was a big
It was
down.
3rd and 8.
So
Yeah.
he
And
goes in.
that's the stuff we're talking about. If that's Parkinson
No
or Higby,
chance.
that's not a first down.
No
And then
way.
what? We're punting the ball the other way.
Yep.
Lost some down.
So check this out. He's lined on the line of scrimmage. He goes in motion. This is a beautiful play. Fake handoff, wide open. That fight, bro. That fight.
That leg drive is crazy.
It is, and that's
He
just
probably He probably squats a ton. I guarantee it.
That just
He
isn't a
definitely squats
that
a
just
ton.
isn't a first down. Like when he got stopped, because really he gets hit 1 yard gain. At first, I was like, "Oh, this isn't that good of a play," and then I'm going, "Wait, he fights, he spins, he's about
Like
to give
one
up the
guy,
first
two
down."
guys, three guys.
There's no tight end on the Rams roster that makes that a first down, in my
Is
opinion.
that route we run that out route so much that
He's the bottom.
that quick release route with our tight ends. I can remember so many times when our tight ends just can't bend the corner and they always get short yardage. They
Yeah,
can't get that first down. I mean, Terrance. I mean, that's the hope that he solves that issue that we've had at
I
tight end
mean
now.
the thing I love about this play is that like it's 1st and 20, and you're just running a quick out with your tight end, and he gets 8 yards, like actually 9 yards.
Quickly turns up field and just fighting forwards.
That wasn't a fumble, by the way, but yeah, 9 yard gain, and then this is the next play actually, but you're talking about a 9 yard gain on 1st and 20. This resets the whole down. So he's lined up in line again. Block, leak, tight end screen with blockers. He's gone, bro. He has
He's gone.
great vision. That's why the screens work so good for him, because his vision is really good. I love the way he sees the blocking. He's patient. He's not trying to he's running. He's waiting for his blockers. Like,
He's
bro.
waiting for he's waiting for his blockers to engage, and then he explodes and he hits the hole.
Yeah.
Or he motions out, quick out.
That's a great little first down
I
play,
mean, that's
man.
just. I mean, that right there. That's a clean, simple route. But that's
Yeah.
huge. Look, the situation was 4th and 2. They needed that play.
Good route. Great hands.
Great catch as
Did you
well.
see him extend for the
Yeah,
first?
that was.
I don't think he knew where he was as far as the first down
Yeah,
marker. He knew he was
he already had it.
close. Yeah, he
Yeah.
already had it. But see, he extends that ball out. That's funny. But you're talking about catching traffic, right? That's a huge thing for tight ends to be able to catch with people draped on you in traffic.
Exactly. I mean, you use that frame to your advantage. You're supposed to be
Yep.
a mismatch, and the type of tight end he is, he's explosive, right? So he's
Leak out.
supposed to be a mismatch.
So like again, it's this acceleration after the catch, right? Let's get through this one. And it's the acceleration after the catch that gives him an advantage. So I'll say this again: if this is a different tight end, he's at the top. It's a leak play. Like he gets past the defensive end, he gets the ball, and like Parkinson and Davis are getting tackled here. Maybe
As
Higby
soon as
gets out.
as soon
Maybe.
as as soon, as soon as Parkinson and Davis they hit that corner, they're getting
But
tackled.
watch how fast he accelerates after
Yeah.
this. So he's able to avoid that one. And then again, the effort, the drive, the motor to try to get that touchdown. He's lined up at slot again. It seems trivial to just like keep pointing out how he catches the ball and gets an extra 3 or 4 yards, but like our tight ends weren't doing that last year at all.
No, but it's massive because we have to think about it, right? In those situations where our tight ends didn't get those 3 4
Mm-hmm.
yards, there were situations where we needed a first down. It was a third down or something. I can remember so many times when Parkinson or Davis they turned the corner. It was a third down. They couldn't get the first down off of a leak out pass.
Oh my gosh.
What
That
a catch!
I think we're
Man.
gonna get a replay here, but that was a beautiful catch. That was not a great throw by Bo Nix at all. And that dude, full extension, one-handed catch. Yeah, look at this beauty, man. This is another block and leak too, man. He's really good at the block and leaks.
We have not in the McVay era. We have not ever had a tight end that has been able to do that type of catch. Not Higby.
Never.
Higby could not. No, Everett. No, like no one.
Got both feet in bounds too.
And that's what we're talking about, like the potential ceiling of him, of being that. That's what a top 10 tight end does.
Yeah, because he's
Because
got.
there will be moments where, let's say, Stafford throws like a not so great ball.
Oh, look at that!
And you
Another
have to
contested
make a
catch.
play.
Well, not contested, rather. Another in traffic catch. Because you're talking about Madden terms. You just saw a really good, spectacular catch, and now you're getting a really good catch in traffic. Look at the way he uses his body too to create this, create a little bit of leverage. He shoves that guy. That's great. At the time, and he's in the 5 yards still. Creates it. Man, it was not a great throw either. He had to really fight for that one.
I'm gonna say this as well, like especially with Stafford. We know Stafford loves to try to fit balls
Into those, especially low. He loves to fit balls low.
Yeah, he tries to fit balls in the low into tight spaces. So Ferguson, like he's showing that ability to
I love the way he
Just
finds open holes when things are breaking down too, or when things are going off script.
he's not standing still. He's I can also remember as well when we have our tight ends and guys are just not moving around. He moves around. He sees the QBs in duress, and he's still moving around trying to create space. Like, see there, he leaks out to the right side and
Yeah.
he's open for touchdown.
You could see him look at the quarterback, look at the space, look at the quarterback, look at the space. Another tight end
And here
screen.
another screen shoves off the guy.
I love how 74 is like, okay, I can block nobody. He just like let both those guys go. He never
But that
touched
probably,
anyone on this play.
honestly, that probably could have been maybe 5-10 yards extra gain if that guy
Yeah.
made a play.
Another tight end screen.
We're gonna see this a lot. I
Yeah.
expect it.
I mean, the tight end screens seem to be automatic 10-yard gains, man.
It
They're
is. That's
great.
why I love it because when we used to
Leak.
put out the it was unexpected and it was always a guaranteed first down. And now we get a guy who's basically a master at it. I mean, that's what Terrance Ferguson. He's a master at the tight end screen. That's his bread and butter.
And he's also good at this, which is one of the bread and butters for Stafford. This is the back an end zone view of this, but he's lined up outside here, outside of 17, and he's just gonna find a wide open soft area in the middle of the field, downfield. See, he comes in motion, runs up, and look, just expert. He finds a soft spot and gives room for a throw, and he catches it, takes off. So much of what I'm seeing, I'm just like, I'm excited to see that in the future for the Rams.
Mhm.
Here's another view of him just fight. It's an art.
Again.
Finding the soft spot in the zone is an art.
And that's a huge part, like, of something's already developed. We've seen a lot of times where tight ends, especially rookies coming in, they struggle to find open spaces. Because as a tight end, that's what you have to do at the end of the day. Especially when you're playing in zone, that's guys like Travis Kelce and George Kittle do so well is finding those soft spots, and that's why they're elite. Again here. I mean, he's just fighting.
That's two
Just
plays
fighting.
in a row where he's just dragging defenders, man.
I love that, man. It's the heart, it's the fight, it's the motor, and that's something you can't teach.
Lined up in line again. I love that route. They've used that route like 5 times now.
Little quick out.
Yeah, well, he runs out and then up. He runs out and then vertical, and it's just like that's like the 3rd or 4th time I've seen it, and it's been really successful every time. Just it's easy yards, man. So now that we're like watching the film, I think it's important to kind of go back to what me and you have both said. I'm not sure if this is exactly, bro. That was an elite catch, by the way. He took that thing off the ground, 2 hands.
That was a low throw, and he just got it.
And by the way, if that's any Rams tight end, and again, I'm not trying to like bash our tight ends, but the reason why I think it's important is because a little quick out, but the throw is so low, and he still gets yards after the catch, an extra 5 yards.
We've seen Cooper Kupp do that so many times.
Yep.
By the way,
If that's an existing tight end on the Rams right now, that's probably a catch for all of them, but they're going to dive to make that catch. They're not going to be able to run after the catch.
And there's even a potential chance, even if they make the initial catch, that when they're going to control it, they drop it.
It's true.
From his concentration.
I love these too. He does a lot of these, like motion plays. So he does this little, and I wasn't even really in motion, but like he runs across the line of scrimmage, catches the ball and gets extra. That was 3rd and 1. That was a great 3rd and 1 call. And
that was a big spot of the game. Is 1:54 left, tied game, for the first down. Again here, it's a similar play, the leak out. He's motioning. I'm excited watching it more and more because I'm envisioning because we run those same plays.
Yep. I'm getting the more I watch Ferguson interviews,
I'm actually
ball
getting
and
more
stuff.
excited.
Yeah, same.
Because I mean, my initial issues with the pick wasn't against Ferguson; it was about where we picked him
and the position.
The position, and we had other needs as well.
Like he's lined up all the way on the right. Trick play. Tight end screen. Got man. 2 big boys out front. See the vision. See the vision to see that block, right? Like he sees the block and he cuts in when the block is engaged. He's just waiting. He's patient. Watch him patiently wait for that block. Block's engaged. He has leverage inside. He cuts in, then he cuts back out. Bro, this is elite yards running after the catch.
That's him being a difference maker.
That's the vision I was talking about. That's elite vision. Like, watch the way he just maneuvers it, right? Like, when we talk about vision, what does vision mean, right? To me, you have your jukes, you got your spins, you got your stiff arms, you got all these moves that you do. Vision is just your ability to weave in and out of traffic, seeing the holes, seeing the openings. That's all he's doing here.
Your ability to, like, in this sense, to read the blocks. He reads the block well, so he waits for his blockers to engage, then he hits a hole and he makes cuts.
Yeah, watch this. He's waiting for 72. Really, he's waiting to see what direction 72 gets
Honestly,
leveraged.
in a way, I'm not comparing him. It's in a way, it's similar to a running back, right?
It is.
He has running back like vision. He waits for the hole. He's patient, and once the blockers engage, he hits a hole and he makes a cut.
He's not only waiting for the block to get engaged, he's waiting to see in what direction it gets leveraged. So 70. Yeah. So what 12 does is he actually undercuts. He goes under the block, which makes him overrun the outside. So Ferguson immediately sees that and cuts in, knowing that he is going to be off balance, trying to keep up with that cut. And then the moment, they didn't show it, but the moment he gets by that guy, he instantly cuts back outside and then acceleration and 40-yard speed. So it's just excellent. It's another one of those. It's almost like a tight end wheel route is what it is. You know, the running backs do the wheel routes where they run out and then up.
It kind of reminded me of a wheel route. So
it's super successful. I actually hope we do that because they do it a lot. I don't know what
it's exactly called, but it's like a tight end wheel route, like in that sense.
For lack of better terms, we're calling it a tight end wheel route, and it's super successful, and I really like it, and I hope the Rams do it. He's lined up as a fullback here. That was a beautiful fake, by the way.
That was a great play call as well.
Keep it up. There we go. So, again, he uses his speed, so he catches the ball for a 1, 2, 3-yard gain, right? Then he uses his speed and acceleration to get to the edge. So he's at 3, so he's got another 3, 8 yards. His first contact with this guy happens at 12 yards downfield. He shrugs him off with his hand fighting and then goes inside and then gets an extra 10 yards after that.
By the way, if that was one of our current tight ends, obviously Ferguson is one of our current tight ends, but our previous tight ends, they're probably the initial catch after 5 yards are getting tackled. They're not breaking that initial tackle.
No chance.
100% they're not.
I really like this play. I think
know the crazy thing about it, that's the thing. He has amazing vision, but one thing he can even work on is his stiff arms, his juke ability, his spins, those quick cuts. He can even work on that still because he's still not polished in that sense.
Yeah, slot, lined up in the slot. See, it's a deep in route. And again, you're talking about finding the soft spot in the zone, right?
This is against Ohio State.
They are playing. Yeah, this is Ohio State.
This was
both 5-0 teams, second and third ranked teams in the nation.
Ohio State, I'm pretty sure, was the number 1 defense in the nation as well.
So you see this guy have outside leverage. He's cutting into the soft spot. Great throw. Now he catches it. He's already moving. Like the ball just arrived. He's already avoiding this tackle. It's so fast.
That's the separator. That's the separator right there.
But look at this.
Our tight ends are making that quick cut. That's just good awareness as well.
This is the fourth quarter.
It's awareness.
They're down 2. Fourth quarter, 3 minutes left. This is a huge play of the game, dude. We couldn't rely on any tight ends lately in the last few years to make a huge play at this point in the game against this kind of an opponent. So watch him dodge the tackle. He shrugs it off. He gets another 10 yards after the first contact. Bro, that's freaking amazing.
I just can't get over it. Like, that's just great instincts. He anticipates, he feels a defender that's next to him, and he just makes a quick cut to the side and just moves out of the way.
By the way, another big game. I know Michigan wasn't great this year, but their defense was really good. So he's in line. Actually, that's Josiah Stewart, isn't it?
I'm not sure actually, but we'll see.
That's Josiah Stewart he was
Oh,
blocking.
it is.
It's
That's his
51.
number, right?
Yeah, that's Josiah Stewart. That's this year, Josiah. That's funny, dude. So
That's
he blocked Josiah Stewart, then it becomes a leak out. He finds a soft spot, gives himself oh, look, then it even breaks down even more. And watch the way he's just he this is just pure football understanding. Dylan Gabriel starts breaking to the outside, to the right side, and Terrance, who was sitting in a soft zone, just goes, "Oh, I'm gonna follow his movements and just give him an out if he has nothing else." Watch him just mirror the running of Dylan Gabriel and give him an out. And when he
and
does, touchdown.
that's what we were talking about that, right? About
Mm-hmm.
none of our tight ends after like the play breaks down when the quarterback goes into the improviser mode. None of our tight ends follow that. They don't try to create extra space.
Correct.
They don't move with the quarterback.
Tight end screen, baby. I love the delayed tight end screen, by the way, like that, where he stays the blocker until the last minute. Love it. Great vision. I would actually say that that was a lack of patience. That he should have probably, like, his
I
blockers were
think
here. He should have gone outside.
I think yeah. I was gonna say I think he should have cut to the left there.
Yep. If he just would have waited for his blockers another little bit, he could have cut out and probably got a lot more yards. But it was
He
a
still
14
got
yard
near the
gain. It was a
he still
14-yard
got
gain.
he still got near the first down. It's the 3rd and 1. That's an easier
Another
pace.
leak, dude. I love the leaks. And they're on these play action passes, right?
That's what I'm saying. That he reminds me of Travis Kelsey in that sense. Because KC, love running those tight end leaks with Kelsey, where he finds a little
Yeah,
soft zone and he just turns. And that's the thing. Terrance Ferguson is a better athlete than Kelsey, so he can refine that even more, and he has a quick turn, the quick
dude.
explosiveness.
3rd and 6, man. 3rd and 6. It's not a big game, but it is. I mean, it's a 4-point game. It's a big situation. 3rd and 6. Quick out. Great route. By the way, the reason why the guy playing off ball didn't react to the last second because it was a great route. He wasn't sure what was happening. He catches it. He's immediately looking for extra yards. He even stumbles. It doesn't matter. The legs don't stop moving for him.
He's powerful, man. I'm telling you, he probably does crazy.
Lined up with the slot.
He has strong legs,
Look
bro.
at the way he's just preparing his route running. Look at it. You see, if he doesn't use if he this is kind of show, so the route wasn't even that good. Then he uses his body for leverage because he's bigger than the corner, right? And then the play doesn't open up, and so he moves to the left to create space for an amazing throw and catch. He's always looking for an opening when the play is breaking down. I really like
He's
that.
not. He doesn't give up after the initial contact. That's what you want, right? And look, this is the stuff again I was talking about.
Elite catch.
We don't have a red zone like an elite red zone
Yep.
target as in terms of a tight end, and that's a difference maker. Because for example, Puka, let's say Puka's a double coverage, or the defense shifts to Devontae. Oh, Terrance Ferguson, you're 1-on-1. Go make a play.
Yep. That was
That's something
man.
that we relied on Davis Allen and Parkins to do that. They couldn't do that.
Yeah, that was man. That was a good man beater. He got to the top of the end zone, to the boundary, and then cut left and got open.
It's that same leak out. That same leak out.
Yeah.
Again, here he's lining the
Tight end
line.
screen, baby. Oh yeah,
I
the
love
blocking
I
is
love
good.
I love the tight end screen because it's so unexpected and usually majority of the time just works out because the defense isn't expected.
I think they could have done a better job blocking here. 72 again, just running downfield, blocking nobody.
72. I don't know what that is, but his film isn't looking great. I'll just say that.
He's fast, but
You got to engage though.
you got to engage with someone. When you engage with someone, you remove a body from the equation, man.
Yeah. That could be the difference of being just a 10-yard gain to a touchdown.
What just happened?
I don't know what that was.
Was that a good blocking?
I don't think he was blocking. I didn't see him there.
I was like, wait, was that play?
Was that play? I'm so confused.
Did we just miss it? No, I think that was.
No, I think.
Oh, they showed the next play and then they showed the replay at that point.
Yeah, the editor, he kind of, yeah.
Way to go, editor.
Yeah, I think the editor kind of messed up there. But yeah.
So that was that was a great catch. Great throw, too, by the way. Dylan Gabriel, what a beast.
Going the other way, he's draped all over him. He's falling down.
Beautiful. By the way, that's one of the drops he had in the Todd McShay.
That's true,
clips.
yeah.
So he can make that catch.
He can make that catch. He shows he can make that catch.
Again, catching traffic, man. He's got guys all over him, still making the catch. Seam shot. Great little seam shot. Makes
He's
himself
so
an available
he
target.
yeah, I've noticed that as well. He's very good at that seam shot.
Yep. Makes himself an available target, and he got great hands. He catches balls high, low, one-handed, two-handed. He has a big catch radius.
Again, here in
Seam
the leak
shot.
out.
Oh, he's going out.
Oh, it's a leak
That
out.
was a
I mean,
corner. That was a corner route. A beautiful one. That's funny. 24 for Washington. I thought that was that was Rapp for a second. Taylor Rapp. This is going to be a great angle of this route, actually.
again here, he fakes the block. He leaks out.
Yeah, this is a nice corner
That's the
route,
thing,
man.
right? Why is that a touchdown? And let's say, for example, if Higby or Parkinson or Davis do that, why it's you probably not a touchdown. It's because of the acceleration
Yeah.
explosiveness that he has. He can get to that spot quickly.
Oh, by the way, that's Abdul Carter, just in case you're wondering. So he's doing a block and then a leak on Abdul Carter. Block,
Chips on
leak.
Boom.
Hey, first down, give me 7 yards. I'd take it. He was in motion, ran to the
We
slot.
struggled,
Out
and this is
route.
another.
By the
thing
way,
I
we
wanna
run these a
mention.
lot. Just a
This is
little
another
quick
thing I want
out.
to mention as well is we struggled immensely on the first down plays, especially
Yep.
like the 6-7 yard chunk first down plays, and Ferguson can resolve that. Those quick outs, quickly turning around, catching the ball six, even if it's not a first down, it's just setting us up better for second down because there's so many times where it's a first down, Stafford's looking, trying to force the ball down the field. There's no one
Sure.
open. He takes a sack or it's an incompletion. Then we're 2nd and 10.
All right, he's lined up out wide this time, actually.
He's showing that versatility.
So that was 4th and 2, by the way. In the fourth quarter of a close game.
See if I would see a replay. I want to see the route. Yeah.
Just using his body, man. He uses his body well. If he's not like doing a really good route, he's using his body to create
Yeah, and as
separation.
a tight end, you should be using your body.
Yeah.
You're 6 foot. He's 6'5", 250 for a reason. You got a body, especially as against a smaller DB. You have to use that mismatch.
Totally. All right, guys, that's it. That's Terrance Ferguson. That's the Rams' 2nd-round pick. I hope you guys got a better idea why we're excited about his
I
future.
can't lie.
Here.
I can't lie. I got just by watching that, I got a bit more excited. For sure.
Yeah, I think he's going to be really good. I think his future is bright. I think we both said he's got a ceiling of a top 10. I've said I don't think he'll be a top 5 guy, but I actually think he can be a top 5 guy, like 4th or 5th kind of guy.
I think it depends how he develops.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm talking about ceiling, like top tier ceiling. I actually think after watching that and going through a little bit of a deep dive with him, I think he could be a top 5 guy. Top 3 seems like a stretch, but top 5 seems doable. Like absolute ceiling, top 5.
If he improves, I would say this: if he adds more like skill moves, and obviously like he polishes his route running, like even it just improves because he can still improve there.
Sure.
There's potential there. I mean, I would say top 10, but I can see the potentially he's like maybe like 6'5" range.
Yeah.
Potential.
Yeah, I agree. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video on Terrance Ferguson. Join us next week for our video covering Josiah Stewart, the Michigan edge rusher that we drafted. We'll be going through each of our draft picks and then hitting up some UDFAs, doing an in-depth analysis on what the Rams got on their team. Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys next episode.
Take care, y'all.